I must admit that these are some of the mistakes that I did and many international students do in their first year when they're studying abroad. And in this video, we'll talk about some of these mistakes and how to avoid them as well. So without wasting much time, let's get into the video. The first mistake on my list is not having a steady work-life balance. Let's be honest, when you go for studying abroad, the chances are that the student get attracted to many things. That could be regarding work or just partying or having fun, or maybe just focus too much on their studies, and having no balance in their study work-life balance is their first mistake. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I was too focused on my studies while completely ignoring my personal life, also some work opportunities as well. So don't be like me and don't make this mistake, and make sure to have a complete balance between all the three aspects. Now, in order to manage your life ideally as a student, you should have some sort of a time management plan. So having a schedule where you set a specific time for your studies that help you to prepare for your assignments and exams, and also have a specific set time for your work hours that you have been given, and also managing your other life aspects like cleaning, looking after your health, cooking, and also meeting your friends and family. And for that, if you're not sure how to do that, we have got a really good template on our website which you can download for free to manage your time effectively. We designed this time management template specifically for international students so they can manage their time effectively to manage every aspect of their life. Moving on to the second mistake, which is about just focusing on survival jobs. For those people who don't know, survival jobs are basic jobs that will help to pay your bills. Things like working part-time, like a waiter, bartender, barista, delivery driver, shop assistant, retailer, cashier. These are some of the common survival jobs. That's perfectly okay when you get started because it helps to pay the bills. But many international students just keep focusing on these survival jobs and they completely forgot about their career jobs. And this is what I encourage many international students to do as well when I meet them face to face. That don't only focus on your survival jobs and start looking for your career jobs in the second or the third year of your study. Start looking for part-time work in your own field of study after first or second semester. I know you don't have a lot of experience and I get that point, but many international students actually get the job even without experience, or at least they get internships or some work experiences, because that will help them to set up for their career in the future. And I've got a really good example of my own younger brother who managed to get a part-time job in the same field he was studying in without any experience at all. The only thing was that I was pushing him to apply for those sort of job roles, and he managed to get through after trying for a few times. You can call him lucky also, but at the same time he was actually looking for it, so he managed to get that. So my suggestion would be to start looking for your field jobs after first or the second semester itself. Don't delay it. I know it won't be easy, but you gotta start trying. The mistake number 3 we have on our list is signing up on lease agreements for your accommodation without proper research, especially in their first year, because the students don't know about the laws, rules and regulations. Many students sign up for long-term agreements, especially for their accommodation. Many of them end up paying a huge amount of fees because they want to cancel their lease agreements. The thing is, in Australia, obviously there are a lot of rules and regulations you need to follow as a tenant and as a landlord as well. And if you are signing up for lease agreements, make sure to read the terms and conditions clearly, know about how much bond you need to pay, know about the terms and conditions in terms of when the inspection of the property will be, how the property will be managed, and don't just rely on the photos given on the internet. And make sure to visit the accommodation by yourself so you get a clearer picture of that. And that's why it's important for students to rely on some of the existing platforms which offer accommodation services, where you can go and book verified property through their platforms. So platforms like Amber Student can be a great choice for students who are willing to spend some extra dollars but want to make sure that they get the accommodation according to their requirements, closer to university, within their budgets, and most importantly, easier for students to understand about the rules and regulations of the accommodation. So if you are looking for accommodation and you want to sign up for that, you can check the link in the description box below, where you can go and look out for some accommodation closer to your university or your workplace. The next mistake on our list that many international students make is not paying attention to their health. So as I said, if students are not balancing their life, they focus too much on working or studying or just partying, they're probably neglecting their health in all of these regards. They're either not eating healthy food, or maybe they're not paying attention to their mental health or emotional health as well. And it's very easy to kind of just get isolated because you don't have your family around, you don't even have those friends around as well. So it gets a little bit complicated for many students to cope up with all this, and they just completely ignore it, and not paying attention to those things can lead to huge stress, anxiety, and other mental health problems. And obviously there could be some physical health problems as well. Make sure to look after your health. If you can cook, that's great. Make sure to find some healthy alternative for your food. If you can't, make sure you're buying some healthy alternatives as well. If you can't cook yourself, and try to go for some exercising or do some basic jogging, running, and things like that to keep yourself healthy and fit. Avoid eating outside foods and try to avoid those junk foods anyways. And the next mistake on our list is signing up for contracts. Many international students, when they come here, they sign up for some contracts that they should not sign up for. Now, I'm specifically talking about a couple of things here, which is mobile phone plans and for the gym memberships. It's perfectly okay if you can afford these services, but when you're first arriving in and in your first year, you want to make sure that you don't go out of budget too much. It's important for you to understand that when you sign up for these contractual agreements, you have to pay for those contracts. You can't just get out of those contracts without paying for them. And many new international students who are arriving in Australia in their first year, usually they end up signing up for these services. They may not even use them that much, but they'll still have to bear the cost. So ideally, you should not be signing up for these sort of services unless and until you're really keen to use them, or until you have find some established sort of a job which will help you to pay these bills, because they will pile up very quickly. The next mistake that certainly a lot of international students do, and some of you might relate to it as well, which is hanging out with your own country people. Look, I always say that you can't just ignore the people from your home country. You have moved from your home country and you are coming to a new country. Obviously, it'll give you a lot of comfort when you find people from your own home country, food, the culture, but you also want to make sure that you learn new things about a new culture that you have arrived in for studying. Ultimately, you have to make the best out of this study abroad experience. So while it is great if you have a people from your home country here, ideally you should be going out and meeting people and making network with people from other countries as well, and not just your home country. Just widen up your own thinking and way of living, and obviously it helps you to network with other people as well. You don't have to obviously agree with all the ideologies and beliefs, but at least you start learning about how do they live their life, what do they think, how do they work. All those aspects will really help to improve yourself and your personality. The next mistake is not focusing on campus activities. Australian university campuses are very lively. During the whole semester, they will have multiple activities going on. From the beginning, they'll have orientation, but that's not just it. They'll have many other activities, events, exhibitions, seminars, conferences, student clubs, you name them, they've got everything for you. And many international students either don't know about these services or they're just not interested in it at all, which some of them come free anyways. So why not take advantage of those extra activities? And that's why it is important for you to manage your time effectively. So my suggestion would be to take advantage of as many campus activities as you can. As I said, most of them are usually free anyways. So my question is, why not? The mistake number 8 is related to money, which is about not managing your money effectively. I'll be a part of the guilty here myself as well, that I never did budgets when I was a student. Who does it anyways? We are just students. But in all honesty, we need to start looking at how we manage our money effectively, on how much income we are getting from our job, or maybe if we're getting money from our parents, how much will be the expenses that we have to bear, and how much money do we get left over to pay other things like tuition fee or other expenses. Ideally, you should be making a budget for each month, but some people also do a weekly budgets as well. This just helps you to plan how much money you can spend upon certain activities and certain things which are sometimes non-essential, such as going out with friends, doing some shopping, or other entertainment expenses. Again, the suggestion would be to start creating a budget sheet that will help you to plan how much income, expenses, and the leftover money for you. And the next one on our list, which we have talked about many times, and that is about not networking enough. We've got few videos about it already on how to network effectively. We even have a kind of a podcast as well, which we did a couple of weeks back, which if you are not sure about, you can check that by clicking the link in the description box below, where we talk about how important the networking is for you as an international student. See, you don't have your family around. It is important for you to build that network for yourself. And many international students think that they will start doing the networking after second year or third year of studies, which is not right, because you need to start building your network slowly. It will take time to build connections. It will take time for people to recognize you as well. The chances are that people don't know much about you. So it's important to go out and attend as many events as you can, whether it's run by your university or if you can find some other events outside your university as well. Couple of very good platforms we have mentioned in the past as well, where you can find local events are Meetup and Eventbrite, where you can look up online some of those activities that you might be interested in and make some connections with the people who might share same sort of values like yourself. So don't hesitate, start going out and start meeting people in the very first year while you're here. And last mistake on our list that many international students make in their first year is not becoming responsible enough. Again, your parents are not around. You have to take a responsibility of your own life. Many international students, I have seen that they don't take that responsibility at all. In real terms, what it means. For example, they may not be cleaning the mess they have left in the house, especially if they're living in a shared accommodation. Or they might not be doing their homework or assignments on the day they're supposed to do. Instead, they might be ending up going for parties or maybe spending too much time on watching movies, Netflix, or even on social media. And that is certainly not right. I understand that as a student, you feel like you have some sort of privileges, which you do, but because you are alone here, you gotta take some responsibility on your life. And that includes sometimes sleeping in for long hours as well. So gotta take responsibility of your own life and start managing it well. Maybe ask your parents for some advice on that as well if needed, as they might be able to give you some suggestions on how to become more responsible. Those were some of the mistakes that many international students do. I hope you find this information useful. As always, if you do, please make sure to like, share and subscribe. Now, if you are coming to Australia and you want to know how to budget effectively, we got some really good tips in one of our video. Here is the video where I talk about the first few months budgeting tips for international students. So if you would like to know more about it, click that video there and I'll see you there.